I'm stressed out of my mind over here. I don't need you on the phone over there, and I don't need you down there, okay?
I was helping Johnny.
Listen, you're supposed to be here. Ron told you that you're supposed to be here, and you need to get the bike done. I'm the guy that pays your check. You stay here on the bike all day.
The roar of engines, the clash of metal, and the explosive arguments that made millions of viewers tune in every week. American Chopper wasn't just a reality show about building motorcycles. It was a raw, unfiltered look into a family tearing itself apart on national television. The Toodles gave us drama that money couldn't buy and conflict that no script could manufacture. Father and son screaming at each other, tools flying across the shop, and custom bikes that became rolling works of art despite the chaos surrounding their creation. For years, we watched Paul Totol Sr. and Paul Totol Jr. battle over everything from design choices to fundamental questions about respect, control, and what it means to be family. The show premiered in 2003 and ran for nearly a decade, making Orange County Choppers a household name and transforming a small New York fabrication shop into a multi-million-dollar empire. But fame came with a price that nearly destroyed everyone involved. Lawsuits, bankruptcy, broken relationships, and personal struggles that went far deeper than what cameras captured. Now, more than a decade after the original series ended, the truth about what really happened behind the scenes has finally emerged. Where are these cast members now? What became of the empire they built? And most shocking of all, what revelations have come to light about the real reasons this family imploded? The answers will surprise you, devastate you, and show you that reality television captures only a fraction of the reality. This is the untold story of American Chopper, and finally the whole truth is being revealed. Paul John Totol Sr. was born on May 1, 1949 in Yonkers, New York, into a working-class family that knew struggle intimately. His childhood was marked by hardship, instability, and the kind of tough environment that either breaks a person or forges them into steel. Young Paul learned early that life wouldn't hand him anything. His father worked grueling hours, and the family struggled to make ends meet in post-war America. Paul watched his parents sacrifice, save, and scrape by. Lessons that would shape his entire approach to business and life. As a teenager, Paul developed a reputation as someone you didn't mess with. He was tough, sometimes too tough, with a temper that could ignite like gasoline meeting flame. But beneath that hard exterior lived a young man searching for purpose and direction. He struggled in school, not because he lacked intelligence, but because sitting still and following rules felt like imprisonment to someone with his restless energy. Paul needed to work with his hands to build things, to see tangible results from his efforts. After high school, Paul entered the working world without ceremony or grand plans. He took jobs in steel fabrication, learning to weld, cut, and shape metal into functional objects. The work was hard, dangerous, and exactly what he needed. In the shop, surrounded by sparks and the smell of burning metal, Paul found something resembling peace. He was good at this. Better than good. He had an instinct for how pieces fit together, how to make strong joints, how to turn raw materials into something valuable. But Paul's early adult years were also marked by darkness that he would later have to confront publicly. He struggled with alcohol, drinking heavily to cope with stress, anger, and demons he couldn't name. His temper, always present, became explosive when combined with drinking. Relationships suffered. Opportunities were lost. Paul was heading down a path that led nowhere good, and he knew it. The moment of reckoning came when he realized he had to choose, continue drinking and watch his life fall apart, or get sober and fight for something better. Paul chose sobriety, a decision that saved his life and set the stage for everything that followed. He threw himself into work with renewed intensity, eventually starting Orange County Iron Works in 1973. The company focused on steel fabrication for construction and industrial clients. It was unglamorous, demanding work, but it paid the bills and allowed Paul to be his own boss, answering to no one. He married and had children, including Paul Jr. in 1974 and Michael in 1978. He built a life, a business, and reputation as someone who delivered quality work on time. The transition from steel fabrication to custom motorcycles happened almost by accident in the late 1990s. Paul started building bikes as a hobby, a creative outlet from the repetitive nature of industrial work. He discovered a passion for the artistry of motorcycle design, the way form and function could merge into something beautiful and powerful. Word spread about the unique bikes coming out of Orange County Iron Works, and soon people were asking to commission custom builds. Paul saw an opportunity and seized it with both hands. In 1999, Paul Turtle Sr. officially launched Orange County Choppers as a separate entity from his steel fabrication business. He brought his sons into the operation, with Paul Jr. showing exceptional talent for design and Michael handling various aspects of the business. The shop started producing increasingly elaborate custom motorcycles, each one a unique creation that pushed the boundaries of what bikes could be. Theme bikes became their signature. Motorcycles built around specific concepts like fire trucks, military tributes, or corporate brands. The Toodles caught their big break in 2002 when the Discovery Channel came calling. Producers had heard about this father-son team building outrageous custom bikes while arguing like gladiators. They saw television gold in the combination of mechanical artistry and family dysfunction. American Chopper premiered on March 31, 2003, and immediately connected with audiences hungry for authentic drama and impressive craftsmanship. This wasn't staged conflict. This was real tension between a domineering father and a talented but rebellious son, playing out in real time. Paul Sr. became the show's volcanic center, a larger-than-life character whose explosions of rage became legendary. His catchphrases, his tendency to fire people including his own sons, and his unwavering belief in his own authority made him simultaneously infuriating and compelling. Viewers couldn't look away when he started yelling, couldn't believe the things he said to his children, yet somehow understood he came from a generation and background where this was normal. Paul Jr., known as Paulie, emerged as the creative genius behind the bikes. His designs were innovative, artistic, and often brilliant. He could envision a concept and then engineer it into reality, solving complex mechanical problems while creating visual masterpieces. But his relationship with his father was combustible. Every design choice became a battle. Every decision turned into a power struggle. Senior wanted control and respect. Junior wanted creative freedom and acknowledgement. Neither would bend, and the collision of their egos created television that millions watched compulsively. The show's success transformed Orange County Choppers into a phenomenon. Revenue exploded as corporate clients lined up to commission bikes that would be featured on television. The shop moved to a massive new facility in Newburgh, New York, a gleaming temple to motorcycle customization that looked more like a museum than a garage. Merchandise sales added millions more. Licensing deals, appearances, and sponsorships turned the Toodles into wealthy celebrities. At their peak, Orange County Choppers generated over $20 million annually. Other cast members became fan favorites too. Michael Tootle, the younger brother, played peacemaker and occasional comic relief, trying desperately to keep Senior and Junior from destroying each other in the business. Vinny DiMartino, the talented fabricator with a thick mustache and easy smile, became beloved for his skills and his ability to stay out of the drama. Rick Petco brought technical expertise and a calming presence to the chaos. These men formed the core team that somehow managed to build incredible motorcycles despite the constant turmoil. But by the late 2000s, the dysfunction that made for great television was destroying the real relationships behind the cameras. The fights between Senior and Junior escalated from arguments to genuine hatred. What started as father-son disagreements evolved into deep wounds that wouldn't heal. The breaking point came in 2008 when Paul Jr. was fired from Orange County Choppers, not just for the show, but actually terminated from the family business. The split was devastating, public, and seemed irreparable. The golden era of American Chopper was ending, and it was ending badly. The public firing of Paul Jr. from Orange County Choppers unleashed a storm of legal battles, personal attacks, and family destruction that made the on-screen arguments look tame by comparison. Senior and Junior didn't just part ways professionally. They went to war with lawyers, lawsuits, and media campaigns designed to destroy each other's reputations. Junior filed suit claiming he was owed ownership stake in the company. Senior countersued, claiming Junior had been insubordinate, lazy, and damaging to the business. The details that emerged painted a picture of dysfunction far deeper than viewers had realized. Behind the scenes, the pressure of fame had been crushing everyone involved. Paul Sr., despite his sobriety from alcohol, struggled with the demands of running an empire while performing for cameras constantly. The man who had built everything from nothing watched his relationship with his oldest son disintegrate publicly. Former employees came forward with stories about the toxic work environment, the impossible standards, the way Senior's temper made the shop feel like a war zone. Some defended him as a tough but fair boss from the old school. Others described him as a tyrant who ruled through fear and intimidation. Paul Jr. launched his own company, Paul Jr. Designs, determined to prove he could succeed without his father. But starting over meant rebuilding relationships with clients, establishing credibility, and doing it all while cameras documented his every move for a spin-off series. The emotional toll was devastating. Junior has spoken in recent years about the depression he experienced during this period, the sense that he had lost not just a business partnership but a father. The man who should have been his biggest supporter had become his greatest adversary. The financial reality of the split hit both sides hard. Orange County Choppers had been built on the dynamic between father and son. Without that tension, without Paulie's designs, the company struggled to maintain its television appeal and its client base. Revenue declined sharply. The massive facility in Newburgh, once a symbol of success, became a financial albatross. By 2010, Orange County Choppers faced serious financial difficulties, owing hundreds of thousands in back taxes and struggling to pay vendors. Michael Tutul found himself caught in the middle of his father and brother's war, a position that caused him immense personal pain. He remained loyal to his father and continued working at Orange County Choppers, but the cost was his relationship with his brother. The Tutul family gatherings, holidays, and basic communication ceased. A family that had once worked together, however dysfunctionally, was now completely fractured. The other cast members faced their own challenges as the show's popularity waned and the shop's financial problems mounted. Vinny DiMartino eventually left Orange County Choppers in 2008, following Paul Jr. out the door and later joining him at Paul Jr. Designs. The departure felt like another betrayal to Senior, another example of people choosing his son over him. Rick Petco stayed longer but eventually moved on as well, pursuing his own ventures in the motorcycle industry. The team that had built those incredible bikes was scattered, and the magic that had made the show special was gone. In 2010, Orange County Choppers filed for bankruptcy protection, a stunning fall for a company that had been worth millions just years earlier. The details revealed in bankruptcy filings shocked fans. Massive debts, tax liens, and financial mismanagement had brought the empire to its knees. Senior had to restructure the entire business, sell assets, and accept a much smaller operation. The man who had lectured his sons about business and responsibility had to admit he had made catastrophic mistakes. The personal cost extended beyond business failures. Paul Sr.'s marriage to Paul Jr.'s mother had ended years earlier, another casualty of the stress and pressure. Relationships with extended family members were strained or broken. The Tutul name, once associated with success and craftsmanship, was now linked to dysfunction and failure in many people's minds. The very fame that had elevated them had also exposed every flaw, every mistake, and every painful moment to millions of viewers who watched the tragedy unfold in real time. Now, in 2026, the landscape looks dramatically different, and the revelations about what really happened are finally coming to light. Paul Tutul Sr., now 76 years old, has done something that once seemed impossible. He is reconciled with Paul Jr. The breakthrough came gradually, starting around 2014 when both men finally admitted that their pride had cost them everything that mattered. Through intermediaries and eventually face-to-face conversations, they began the painful process of rebuilding what they had destroyed. The reconciliation wasn't smooth or simple. Both men had to confront hard truths about themselves. Senior has admitted publicly that his controlling nature and inability to show emotional support pushed his son away. He has spoken about how his own difficult childhood created patterns of behavior that he inflicted on his children without realizing the damage he was causing. For a man who built his identity on being tough and right, these admissions represent profound personal growth. Paul Jr., now 51, has revealed his own struggles with the legacy of the show and the relationship with his father. He has discussed the difficulty of separating his identity from his father's approval, the years spent trying to prove himself worthy, and the eventual realization that he needed to forgive for his own mental health. Jr.'s company, Paul Jr. Designs, survived and continues to operate, though on a smaller scale than Orange County Choppers at its peak. He builds custom bikes for select clients and has found peace in the creative process, without the chaos. Orange County Choppers still exists, dramatically downsized but operational. Sr. has admitted that the financial crisis taught him valuable lessons about management and sustainability. The shop produces fewer bikes now, focusing on quality over quantity and working with clients who appreciate the craftsmanship rather than just the television fame. Sr. has also become more open about his personal journey, discussing his past struggles with alcohol, his commitment to sobriety spanning decades, and his regrets about how he treated people along the way. Michael Tutul continues to work with his father at Orange County Choppers and has also rebuilt his relationship with Paul Jr. The family now gathers occasionally, a development that would have seemed impossible a decade ago. It's not perfect, and the wounds haven't completely healed, but there is communication, respect, and genuine affection where once there was only anger and lawsuits. The other cast members have also moved forward. Vinny DiMartino works in custom fabrication and occasionally collaborates with Paul Jr. Rick Petco has his own ventures in the motorcycle world. The team that once defined American Chopper has scattered to pursue individual paths, but they remember the brotherhood they shared despite the chaos. Many have spoken about how the experience taught them about both the possibilities and the dangers of fame. The story of American Chopper reminds us that success without healthy relationships is hollow, that talent without character is unsustainable, and that pride can destroy everything we build. The Tutuls gave us entertainment, incredible motorcycles, and a cautionary tale about what happens when we let our worst impulses control our most important relationships. Their eventual reconciliation offers hope that even the deepest wounds can heal with humility, time, and genuine effort. What was your favorite bike from the American Chopper era? Do you remember watching the show when it first aired? Share your memories and thoughts about the Tutul family's journey in the comments below. Your perspective matters to us and to this community of fans who watched this story unfold. If you enjoyed this deep dive into where the American Chopper cast members are now, please subscribe to our channel for more updates on reality television's most compelling stories. Next week, we're exploring another show that defined a generation, and the revelations will leave you speechless. Hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss it. In the end, the Tutuls built more than motorcycles. They built a legacy that demonstrates the power of second chances, the importance of forgiveness, and the truth that family, however complicated, is worth fighting for. Their story continues, quieter now, but perhaps more meaningful than ever before.